In this video, you will learn about 10 billionaires who live like poor. There are people who are swimming in money, and yet they drive inexpensive manual transmission cars. They dress in cheap clothes and eat at fast food restaurants or in their company cafeteria. Some of the wealthiest men and women on the planet are incredibly frugal. They detest luxury and prefer to spend their wealth on charity. These are people who forego comfortable residential mansions, vacation homes, yachts, luxury cars, branded and expensive clothes, fancy restaurants. What do billionaires who live poorly, or at least well below their level of wealth? How do they stay away from the various temptations to spend money that lurk at every turn? Let's introduce you to our list of 10 billionaires who live like paupers. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our updates. Number 1. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is considered by many to be the symbol of the successful investor, the man who has made an art out of buying low and selling at a profit. Although his current wealth is about $100 billion. Also in his living expenses, he likes to buy at the lowest possible price when it comes to everyday expenses. Buffett seems to need to be hit with a hammer on the elbow to get him to loosen his hand and let go a little more. He has lived for more than 60 years in Omaha, Nebraska, in a modest home he bought for $31,500. He gets around in a 2014 Cadillac X7, and when Gates visits Buffett, he wouldn't think of sending a limo. He picks him up at the airport himself. Warren Buffett uses an old flip phone without WhatsApp. His good friend Bill Gates must grimace discreetly when Buffett pulls out his phone. The 7th richest man in the world is also very economical when it comes to food. He never spends more than $3.50 for breakfast and dines at a simple steakhouse where the most expensive dish costs $41. He pays $18 for a haircut. And for snacks he has a great time with chips and Cheetos. He gets a bit wasteful with drinks, consuming 5 Cokes a day. His appreciation for junk food has extended to business, as part of his fortune is due to his investments in Burger King and Coca-Cola. Buffett himself said, "I've never had a great desire to own all kinds of things and several cars." In 2014, during part of the annual shareholders meeting of his company, Berkshire Hathaway, this billionaire pointed out, "In my life I couldn't be happier. In fact, it would be worse if it had 6 or 10 houses. I have everything I need, and I don't need any more, because it makes no difference after a certain point of comfort." Point number 2, Mark Zuckerberg. If Mark Zuckerberg decided to spend his entire fortune on clothes, he would have enough for more than 1 trillion changes of clothes. When you see the founder of Facebook dressed in jeans, t-shirt and hoodie, that's his usual attire, practically his uniform. The creator of the popular social network is the youngest of the 1,000 Club millionaires, with a net worth of about $60 billion. Zuckerberg turned 38 on May 14, 2022. His fortune is also enough to make him on the top 5 richest people on the planet. When Zuckerberg decided to get married in 2012 to pediatrician of Chinese descent, Priscilla Chan, the couple's closest friends knew they would not have the privilege of attending a lavish wedding. What some did not imagine was that Priscilla and Mark would leave to eat at a McDonald's after the ceremony. In the next step, marriage has been seen looking to save a few bucks at Costco, shopping in bulk. Mark Zuckerberg's disinterest in fancy and expensive things also extends to cars. He enjoys driving his manual transmission Volkswagen, and his cars have always been mid-range or even low. A young man who could have a garage full of Ferraris or Lamborghinis, and both have none. Despite his status as one of the richest tech guys in the world, Zuckerberg prefers to live a discreet lifestyle with his wife and 2 children. His house in Palo Alto, California, is worth $7 million. Almost pocket change compared to his wealth. To this millionaire born in White Plains, New York, it's clear that frugality clears the mind to focus on what is important. He has said, "I really want to clear my life to make as few decisions as possible about anything except how to best serve the community." In 2015, Zuckerberg announced that he would donate 99% of his wealth during his lifetime. Number 3. Amancio Ortega. Amancio Ortega, founder of Inditex and Spain's richest man, eats with employees in the cafeteria at the headquarters of Zara, the clothing retailer that made him a billionaire. According to Forbes, Ortega's fortune was about $55 billion in 2022. That makes him the richest clothing retailer on the planet. The immense wealth amassed over the past 45 years by Ortega has not changed his sober personal habits. When he is not working, he likes to retreat with his wife to their quiet La Coruña apartment in the Galician city. The couple frequent the same coffee shop and lead a simple life. His colossal fortune has not ceased to be a problem for Amancio Ortega. The wealth out of the ordinary puts the protagonist on the radar of the media. And Ortega is a discreet person, jealous of his privacy and averse to the media spotlight. In 2001, his wife created the foundation that bears her name to fight cancer. The organization has been a vital help to Spain since the global health crisis emerged in 2020. Ortega made the company's logistics network available to the Spanish government. Inditex transformed the medical equipment and has made significant donations of medical supplies. On March 28, 2022, this low-profile man, the son of a railway worker and a housewife, turned 86 years old. Many Spaniards sang cumpleaños feliz to him from afar to thank him for his generosity during planetary health emergency. Number 4. Jim Patterson. Canadians call him the Warren Buffett of Canada, both for his wealth and his frugal lifestyle, aspects that link him to the American investor. Patterson was born in 1928, and the following year the Great Depression hit, filling his childhood years with poverty. As a teenager and young adult, he worked countless jobs and was a crop picker, a school donut vendor, and a paperboy. He also worked as a construction laborer, a door-to-door seed salesman, and a restaurant car waiter. He was washing cars at a used car dealership when a customer came in and the manager was missing. Patterson became an instant salesman and sold an auto. An event that would change his life. He is currently the sole owner of the Jim Patterson Group, an industrial conglomerate with 45,000 employees and annual sales of more than $19 billion. This nonagenarian has a fortune of close to $6 billion and has some luxuries, although he never forgets his origins and what it cost him to earn his first pennies. That's why, until recently, he continued to drive his Dodge pickup truck, and with his lifestyle, he is simple in many ways. About the tough early years, he stated, "I lived on the rough west side of Vancouver. Most of the time I didn't have money to buy anything that was any good. So I had to settle for things that nobody wanted." Number 5. Azim Premji. Having a fortune of about $8.6 billion and being on the hook for toilet paper seems like the last straw. But this Indian billionaire saves every rupee he can. Premji made his fortune with Wipro Technologies. And he is called the Bill Gates of India. He was producing vegetable oil in a family heirloom business when IBM was driven out of his country in the 1980s. He then left oil for technology, quickly changed jackets, and managed to fill the gap left by the US tech giant. Toilet paper is not the only issue with which Azim Premji incenses his employees. He reminds them at every turn to turn off the office lights when they leave, and not to waste their money. The Indian tycoon is called the basic billionaire for his frugality, and some say that next to him the toughest cheapskates in history look like Santa Claus. Frankie drives second-hand cars, flies economy class, and when it suits him he uses the rickshaws. A two-wheeled, human-powered vehicle that is popular in India and other Asian nations. But Premji doesn't save for the pleasure of hoarding. He was the first Indian to join the pledge. The Given Pledge, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett's initiative to encourage wealthy individuals to donate the majority of their fortune to philanthropic causes. In 2019, Forbes included Premji on its list of philanthropy heroes in the Asia-Pacific. Number 7. Charlie Ergen. The billionaire Charlie Ergen is a man of habits, which always helps to keep expenses under control. He is a keen hiker and climber who has climbed big mountains such as Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua, or Everest. He also participates in hiking trips with his employees. He became rich with Network Corporation, one of the main paid television provider in the United States. This company has Tech Mexico, provider of satellite television in Mexico, for its operations and account with EchoStar, a company that manages a fleet of satellites. Ergen's mother told him how hard the years of the Great Depression were, and the boy learned his lesson. Now he carefully protects his immense fortune, estimated by Forbes at $10 billion in 2022. Every workday, before going to the office, he packs his lunch consisting of a sandwich and a Gatorade. Number 8. Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim is the undisputed wealth leader in Mexico, with a fortune of nearly $80 billion. However, he is a man with a very moderate lifestyle. Personally, he only allocates significant amounts of money to the purchase of works of art. But even this passion can be a profitable investment through the revaluation of the works. The Mexican billionaire, who turned 82 in 2022, is the leading cell phone provider in Latin America and has shares in several companies, including the New York Times. Slim leads a surprisingly frugal lifestyle for his level of wealth. He has lived in the same house for more than 40 years and has no plane or yacht. The house has 6 bedrooms, plenty of space for Slim, who was widowed in 1999, but very modest compared to the residences of many other less wealthy people. Slim is the son of Lebanese immigrants. His father worked hard as a retailer and taught him the benefits of thrift and frugality. Slim also owns Sears Mexico and the Inbursa Aquarium. This aquarium is the largest in Latin America and one of the modern tourist attractions in Mexico City, where the businessman was born in 1940. His wife Somaya died in 1999, and Slim honored her memory with the Museum Somaya, a free-access venue that exhibits one of the largest and most important art collections in Mexico. Art is Carlos Slim's great passion. Number 9. Judy Faulkner. Today, the founder of Epic Systems has $7.6 billion in wealth and says she has never had any interest in living lavishly. Epic Systems is the largest provider of medical record software in the United States and was founded by Faulkner in 1979 in the basement of a home in Madison, the Wisconsin state capital. Judy Faulkner started the company under the initial name Human Services Computer, shortly after earning her master's degree in computer science. The startup capital was $70,000 raised from friends and family. Epic Systems is a privately held company. Since its founding, and its shareholders have no plans to open its capital to the public. The company has 9,000 employees and provides computer support for the medical records of more than 250 million people. Among its clients are the Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins Hospital. Despite the millions earned as Epic Systems' principal shareholder and CEO, Judy Faulkner is not a woman of luxury and prefers to put her fortune to charity. In the last 15 years, she has changed cars only once. She has lived with her family in the same Madison neighborhood for 30 years. In 2015, he joined the Giving Pledge, donating most of his fortune to charity. On that occasion, she wrote, "I never had any personal desire to be a millionaire living in abundance. I prefer to use money so that others have access to food, a place to stay, medical care, and education." Number 10. Jay Leno. Jay Leno isn't a billionaire, but $450 million in net worth is quite a bit of money. The popular American comedian and TV host only spends on cars. And the rest, he's very thrifty. When he wasn't yet famous, he worked at McDonald's and a car dealership. He adopted the habit of living on the income from one occupation, saving the income from the remaining ones. This is how he supported himself with the money earned at the car dealership while saving and dividing his income as a comedian. His philosophy of surviving on the lowest paying job worked for him even as his television income grew considerably. He continued to live off his side jobs in comedy. He always kept the higher salary. The income as a TV host went into the bank and eventually into a car from his huge collection of classic and antique cars. When he hosted The Tonight Show, the successor to Johnny Carson and predecessor to Jimmy Fallon, he saved an estimated $30 million a year and spent the money earning on his comedy tours. Another Jay Leno habit is not to use credit cards because of his conviction that they are the easiest way to unnecessary spending. He would not even buy a property with a mortgage loan, but when he has raised the full money. On the television series Jay Leno's Garage, when he gets into a speeding car, he's in the habit of saying, "My wife is going to kill me." Does his wife also make a face at him if he overspends? Anyway, studies show that frugality is one of the key characteristics to wealth. People who are committed to saving, spending little, sticking to a budget, and investing wisely are more likely to succeed. Moderation and sobriety in spending do not guarantee that you will become a millionaire, but they are at the starting point of many wealthy people, as this list of billionaires demonstrates. I hope you found this video useful. If you have something to add, please share it with us in the comments section. Like this video and send the link to your relatives of your best friends so they can also see who are the 10 billionaires who live like poor people. If you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe. And remember, smart work is the key to success.